All right, welcome to the Houston Warmup Show. I got Jeff Power on this side, Ward Fasold on this side, and we only got 3 more weeks left in school, so we got to get some more.
The finish line.
The finish line. I got 2 kids graduating. Yours have already graduated, right? So
yeah,
other people that are watching this today are thinking about their graduations. And a matter of fact, graduation plays a big part in the softball schedule this week too, because not only are we in baseball, not only are we not dodging raindrops, but we're dodging graduation dates.
That's a good point.
A lot of these schedules are made up like that, right, Jeff?
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy week. We're going to be dodging a lot of stuff.
Exactly. But softball has made the state semifinals, and that's what we talk about first here in the lineup. Let's talk about some of the teams we got left here. We got a couple of your favorites because you've been out to shoot both of these teams' games in 6A. Talk about the chances for a Katy and a Pearland.
Yeah, I like it. 35-5 Pearland Oilers facing the Johnson Jaguars at 27-12 out of San Antonio. You know, the Oilers have been gushing with success this season. In fact, Pearland, yeah, man, they're 7-1 at neutral sites, 13-2 in true road games, and 15-2 at home. Pearland was 16-0 in a very tough district. They average over 3 runs in the first inning and over 3 runs in the second inning all year. How about that? That means they pounce on their teams early, and what does that do? It makes it easier.
Takes the life out of
pitchers. Yeah, the pitchers like Matty Guzman can pitch much better in the circle when they know they've got a lead. And the Oilers have been taking care of opponents early. In fact, they beat Cy-Fair, 8-0. I feel like every time I see a Pearland game, it's just a large margin. They've won 3 state championships, you might remember, including the first in '96, 2 under legendary coach Lonnie Clark, who guided Pearland to the 2010 state title, and most notably, an 11-0 postseason record and an amazing win over Denton Geyer in 2023 for the Class 6A state softball title. So I see some similarities between that 23 team and the 26 team. Great offense, defense, pitching. Pearland head softball coach Michelle Hayden has been a part of this success for over 25 years. She was on a lot of those coaching staffs that won state titles here, so she knows how to get it done. And they're going to take on a tough Waco Midway team or Flower Mound if they can get by Johnson. So they're going to have to earn it this year, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Waco Midway looks like the favorite in the top half there. They beat Flower Mound last year at this exact same spot. So I like what Pearland's doing too, but do you like what Katy's doing?
Yeah, Katy's been a big surprise. 6A D2, 36-5. Katy winners of 18 in a row, including playoff wins over defending champion Kingwood and Clear Creek. Far San Juan Alamo out of the Valley stands in Katy's way. PSJA knocked off a really good Dripping Springs team in a 2-game sweep, Ward. That stood out to me. So the Tigers are going to be tested. They are 11-2 on the road, 11-2 in neutral site games, and 12-1 at home. The winner gets the Forney Geyer winner. So interesting there. But I think Katy's got a shot. I really do. We'll see if they can take care of business against PSJA.
I do too, man. Anybody that's got E.K. Smith in their team, I got to pull for them as well, man. All right, talk to me about 5A. Who do we have left in 5A, and what do you like about their chances?
Barbers Hill, 5A D1, they look so dominant. Number 1 team in the nation. They'll take on Leander. The Lions have made deep playoff runs in recent years, but not like Barbers Hill has. Barbers Hill, 38-4. They've won 22 of 23 games. Their starting pitcher, Macy Bryant, is committed to LSU. She has a 23-0 record with a 0.33 earned run average. They've beaten teams like Katy, as you mentioned, Lake Creek, and defending champion Kingwood. They had the big win over LaPorte last week. I tell you what, man, I just really feel like Barbers Hill is playing the way they always do this time of year. They beat teams. They beat them handily. And it's going to end up setting up a really good matchup against Aledo.
What about 5A Division 2 here?
Well, Barbers Hill actually beat Lake Creek, and that's the only loss Lake Creek has. They'll face a 28-7 Liberty Hill team in the Final Four. But the Lions are coming off an impressive 18-4 win over Georgetown. I just think that when it comes right down to it, teams like Lake Creek, Barbers Hill, they have just got what it takes to reach the finals and win it all. And Lake Creek, of course, we talked about the fact that they've won a couple titles in the last 3 years. I don't see any reason why they can't get back to the championship game this year. So we'll see what happens in 5A D2. Liberty Hill's tough, but I don't think Lake Creek's going to fall to Liberty Hill. And I did want to mention 3AD1 real quick. Columbus plays Grandview. Yeah, Columbus coming off a 9-6 win over Goliad. They took that one-game series. I think we had highlights of that game last week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I saw it. Zebras of Grandview will be a formidable foe at 33-2-1. But hats off to the Cardinals for playing a tough schedule and having a great season over in Columbus.
Yeah, they got the defending champions of Grandview and the one they call the best player in the state, Matty Doty, going to Texas pitch and hit. So that'll be a tough task. But
baseball. I was just going to say the same thing as you, right? Baseball, 6AD1.
Let's get into baseball. Yeah, let's talk some baseball stuff because we got to me, Summer Creek is a surprise to be this far. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm surprised that they're all the way to the regional final. But now they're running into those Katy Tigers. I thought we just mentioned Katy, didn't we? Oh, that was softball. Keep going.
Katy baseball. I'll tell you what, 33-3-1. Just keep forgetting about them, and they'll just keep winning. Yeah. Summer Creek, their record not impressive. 22-12-2. They finished third in their own district. But that's the district of doom, right? Atascocita and Kingwood over there in front of them. But, Katy, they're 12-0 in neutral sites. And, of course, SC is 7-3-2 in those neutral sites. But Katy just took 2 out of 3 from Atascocita. Now, not a total surprise, but I thought Atascocita was the best team in Class 6AD1 out of Region 3. But Katy can put up a lot of runs. They average at least 2 runs in the first inning and 2 runs in the second inning. So like we said earlier in softball, if you can give your pitchers a lead, they pitch with more confidence. And, Summer Creek, I mentioned they were third in District 23-6A. They've been getting some good pitching. They've been battle-tested. I kind of like the fact that they had to go 2 out of 3 against Straight Jesuit, 2 out of 3 against Pearland, 2 out of 3 against Dickinson. In other words, they're playing a lot of games. They've been battle-tested, but I'm starting to think that pitching staff has got to be feeling a little tired right now. So Katy, Summer Creek, it's a Region 3 final this week. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I think Katy could have the nod here.
Well, you know who never gets tired is those 1 and 2 for Houston Memorial. They probably had the best 1-2 pitches. You met Cash Money Scarborough, and then the junior that's named, I can't remember his name, Spardino, is that it? Or I don't know if you had checked it out. Yeah. But those 2 guys are deadly. They're going up against Katy Tompkins this week at 6A Division 2.
Yeah, 6AD2. In fact, Memorial at 30-6, scoring off with a good 25-15-2 Katy Tompkins team. Memorial is 13-4 in neutral sites game. They are 17-2 on the road, for whatever that's worth. Meanwhile, Tompkins 9-5-1 in neutral sites and just 8-6 at home, 8-4-1 on the road. So Tompkins has been playing great lately, though. That's the key. They've got a good pitching staff, but not as good as Memorial's. Memorial's is fresh. They're ready. They got that kid Cash Scarborough, who I met last week. He's one of the leaders. He's definitely one of the star pitchers and also can play the field, does a little bit of everything. Weather could be a factor here, and if you have good pitching, that means a lot. And, hey, let's not forget over in 6AD2, Tomball.
Team that never loses, right? The team that never
39-0-1, no doubt, man. They are going up against a good Tyler Legacy team who's 27-8-1. That's a Region 2 battle. Tomball took care of business against Rowlett last week, scoring 6 runs in the first inning. Are you starting to see a theme here, Ward?
Yeah.
Get out in front, man. Then just don't worry, right?
Especially if we feel like the rain's coming, right? Get all these runs in first, and then
might only be playing 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they won that game 10-1 when I went and saw them in the final game there over in Georgetown. They've been playing great. I mean, no doubt about it. Legacy, on the meanwhile, they eliminated Willis with a pair of 1-run victories in games 2 and 3. In fact, it was 7-6 in 9 innings, 8-7 in the final to knock out the Wildcats, who finished the season 21-17. So big contrast in records here. But no doubt about it, Tomball will be the heavy favorite against Legacy, who's got 8 losses. But, hey, that's why we play the games. Am I right?
Absolutely. And we got a couple 5A teams left, too, right? With Kingwood Park and Lake Creek.
We do. Lake Creek takes on Victoria East. It's a Region 3 battle. Lake Creek is barely over 500 with an 18-15 record, but they have great pitching. They can win low-scoring 1-run games, as evident in their last 2 wins last week against Hendrickson. They won 1-0 and 3-2. They have yet to go to a third game in the postseason, though. That's key, beating LaPorte and Porter. In fact, you can throw in the fact that they had a 2-game sweep over Montgomery to end the season in the Motown Showdown. So Lake Creek's been on a roll lately over in 5AD1. In 5AD2, Kingwood Park, they're 28-13-2. They're going to take on Port Neches Groves. PNG is 28-7. That'll be fun. K-Park whipped Weiss out of Pflugerville 15-2 and 13-0 after dropping game 1 of that series. So they found a way to bounce back and get it done.
Absolutely. They're going to play at a familiar park. They're going to play that game up at Crosby, which they're used to. And then there's a guy that you did a next level on this upcoming week, and they're still alive at Huffman Hargrave.
Yeah, Huffman Hargrave, they're still alive, and I don't think there's any question about it. When you look across the board, I mean, they're a borderline golden triangle. They're moving further and further towards that triangle side there, but there's so much good baseball in that area. If you come out of that district, chances are you got a shot to go win it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Braden Weisner there for Huffman Hargrave.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, unless you have anybody you want to talk about in 3A, do you or no?
No, I'd look at it. We don't really have any teams
good.
left in 3A or 2A. It seems like I got to check on East Bernard every now and then, but not this year.
See how they're doing. Yeah,
they didn't make it in
they're getting
baseball
ready for
or
football.
softball.
They're getting ready for football. You know who's going to make it next year in football? So it's the Atascocita Eagles. I mean, they have a brand new head coach. It's Craig Stump, retired. They bring in our coach of the year, Kyle Coach from College Park. He moves over to Atascocita. We talked to him for media day, and he discussed how he's going to try to get this defense turned around over there.
Houston area Chevy dealers. Visit your nearest Chevy dealer and test drive our award-winning vehicles.
So, Kyle, replacing Craig Stump, thoughts about the new role for you? Do you feel like you're getting to know everybody now? Does it feel like it's official now that we have spring practice in?
Yeah, no doubt. No, it definitely feels like we're setting some foundation here. And, I'll first say that Coach Stump did a heck of a job here. You walk past all the trophies, you walk past all the hardware, and the signs on the wall talk about all the games that have been won here in the past, how many trips deep into the playoffs. And so there's some very high bars that have been set by Coach Stump and his staff. And so I'm excited to come in and kind of hit the ground running with our crew, and it's been fun to see these kids come out here and compete.
Let's start with defense. I feel like last year Atascocita was known for offense. Maybe give them a few points defensively. What are you seeing defensively? If you want to name a few players, feel free. Yeah.
So Coach Howard and his staff have done a really good job of kind of trying to build in our culture. We're a multiple front defense, and trying to be able to keep offenses guessing, especially those big boys up front. And so some of the names that really stand out for me so far, number 33, Landon Glaze, has played some edge for us. We'll walk back and play some backer. He's been very, very consistent for us, has been doing his job very well. Dawson Harris playing the Mike linebacker has done a good job, and then Tavon Bolden and Paul Durant in the secondary have really been some staples for us. Obviously, we have very, very talented corners in Josh Banks and Trent Blaylock, and then David Dotson and Jason Johnson have really come on for us on the inside. Jason's obviously a highly recruited kid, and so we're happy to get him back healthy and get him out here practicing with us.
Offensively, receiver-wise, has always been a key position for Atascocita. Let's talk about some of the players you've got on offense on the receiver position.
Yeah, so Brian Manuel, number 17 for us, has done a whole lot of good stuff. Really kind of blowing up on the recruiting circuit right now. Had a lot of coaches out here. I believe Iowa was just out here to offer him the other day with West Virginia, Texas State, a bunch of the schools that have been talking to him. Just wanted to get him, out here in person, see him against some of these 4-star, 3-star DBs, and see him making plays. And so he's really blown up. Isaiah Rashid is one that we're really looking forward to at the receiver spot. Super athletic, long kid, can go up and get the ball. But, offensively, the running back situation here, after graduating 2 really good players in the backfield, is kind of a question mark right now. But we have a couple of kids battling out there doing a good job. And then offensive line, we return a few kids. Isaiah Smith up front playing the left tackle spot. Right tackle is Yule Everline. And then our right guard coming back is Dominic Brown. All were all district players last year. Have done a really good job of starting to kind of blow up in recruiting. And so we're really expecting those guys in that front 5 to kind of lead the way for us. And so we have some pieces that are filling in. DJ Atkins obviously is going to be a sophomore next year, was a freshman this year that had to play in some games. And so really excited about some young talent. Trenton Weary, Jeremiah Vincent, 2 young receivers I think are going to play a lot for us as sophomores. And so I'm really excited to kind of see what they bring to the table.
Last year we saw a lot of wildcat formation out of the quarterback position here at Atascocita. This year, what are you seeing? Who are maybe the front runners at QB?
Yeah, we got some kids battling it out. Corbin Schmeckel and then Aiden Perkins are 2 kids that I think are going to be battling out for the job. Aiden's a very athletic kid. He's going to be a kid that we're going to get on the field in some capacity, in some form or fashion, anywhere. And then they've both been really spinning the ball this spring, so I've been fired up about that.
Man, the offense is going to be really good this year. I seen, we got a new quarterback, so he's really good. He can throw the ball anywhere. So from the offense, I just seen on the ball, just being able to spread people out, move people around. That's different from what we had in the past. So it's going to make a lot of mismatches. So balance the run game and pass game more, keep the defense on their toes, keep them guessing. So I feel like that's going to be a really big difference this year. Just not the defense not knowing what we're going to do.
Coach, he a real good coach. He seemed like he know what he doing, and then he putting everybody in the right position where he can be. And I feel like this spring, going into the season, we have a great offense and a great defense, so it's going to be a real good year.
Thoughts about just the style change? Anything different on offense? What are you thinking? Is it more wide open? What do you think?
Offense, I would say this year we're going to throw the ball a lot, get it out to everybody, get out to our best guys and make plays. And I say defense, we just lock it up and play ball.
It's hard to go with a team without Cardi Max. Been here for a while.
Yes, sir.
But when you look around, you're now one of the leaders of the team. Talk about that role, and does it fit you?
Yes, sir. I say it fit me well because I go out here and do what I'm supposed to do and give it all I got on the field. So I feel like all the guys under me and behind me, they believe in me.
Did you see Blake Gideon out here from University of Texas?
Yes, sir.
Last year was a little different for Atascocita. I mean, a lot of close losses, but too many losses, right?
Yes, sir.
Thoughts about how y'all correct that this year?
I would say we just go out there and play our game. We just got to keep fighting and keep getting better.
Yeah, the talent level, I mean, everyone here is talented, not just me. It's just getting better every day. So I go against, honestly, the top guys in the district every day, like Brian Manuel. He's a great receiver. So going against people like him, it just makes me better along the line just because we're 6A. So the talent here, like the district, is really good. So I feel like it's going to prepare me well for the next level.
What do you think would be the biggest change compared to last year going into this season for Atascocita?
I feel like it's a big culture shift. So I feel like we're more conjoined as a team. I feel like the players react to each other more and we want it for each other rather than just ourselves. So I feel like we're playing for something this year for sure.
Have you noticed a change in defense? It seems like last year that was maybe the Achilles heel. Defense,
yeah, we just have more intensity. So we play with more toughness, we play with more speed, more intensity. So that's really the main thing. And we hone in on taking the ball away more. Because we have a lot of people coming back. I feel like that kind of hurt us a little bit, not having as much experience. But this year, we have a lot of experience, so I feel like that's the biggest thing. State title is what we're looking for, so we're going to keep working towards that.
Get the whole community out. This was more for the parents and the college coaches that wanted to come see those guys kind of one-on-one as they're still out recruiting. But I was fired up to see, right, some competition, some good plays by the defense. Offense started clicking there towards the end. It was kind of touchdown, 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 touchdown. And so, some things we need to clean up, but ultimately it was good to see the kids come out here and compete. And then ultimately you had the fourth and fifth group in there scoring touchdowns at the end and see the kids running off the sideline. That's always fun to see that energy at practice.
Kyle, Coach, thanks for joining us here on Inside High School Sports.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
The Houston area Chevy dealers. Visit your nearest Chevy dealer and test drive our award-winning vehicles. Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
All right, Coach, man, I appreciate hearing from you because I am interested to see how that new District 17 6A is going to pan out with him at the helm over there with the Eagles. Should be pretty interesting.
They got good defense. Look out.
Absolutely. Jeff, last week you were in Austin for all the track that happened on Friday and Saturday. You're going to do a sweet little recap for us this Saturday night at 11, but let's preview it a little bit now with the agenda brought to you by Allegro.
Chevrolet's Inside High School Sports is brought to you by Allegro Marinade. Whether you're the family chef, a backyard barbecuer, or a jerky-making genius, maximize flavor and tenderness with Allegro Marinades.
A lot of speed, brother. A lot of speed. I knew my man Dylan Mitchell was going to have speed, but you saw even more speed down there from our Houston guys. Tell me what you saw down there and how we turned it out.
Well, let's start with 6A because, quite frankly, the 6A boys did fantastic from the Houston area. I mean, first of all, Katy Tompkins won the state title with 47 team points, 20 better than Byron Nelson. Alvin Shadow Creek was third with 24. Cypress Springs was fourth with 22. So 3 out of the top 4 from the Houston area. The 400 was won by Joshua Shelton out of Pearland. He was motoring, man, 45.86. That kid's amazing. Has done some fantastic things. Definitely going to be a headliner as he heads towards college. Nicholas Ferguson out of Houston Heights, HISD, getting a win in the 800. That was a time of 152.91. And how about the 4x400 relay? Speaking of HISD, Houston Lamar took that one. It was the final event of the night. Ryan Johnson, Jordan Godfrey, Devin Carpenter and Blake Love. We talked with those kids earlier in the year. I had a feeling they would do it. I was really proud of them. They got out there and just did a fantastic job. The 4x100 relay, by the way, kind of leads off some sound I want to take us to, because Katy Tompkins got it done with Omotade Bello, Blake Hamilton, remember that name, Joseph Oyayinka, and Silas Scott. All four of those kids won that 4x100 relay right off the top and kind of got everybody off to a good start. And the next thing you know, man, that really seemed to inspire Blake Hamilton, who set a national record. Yes, a national record, even though it's wind-aided and some would say it doesn't count. Hey, man, in my book, that 200-meter, that counts for me. Let's hear from him real quick. He had a quick thought, and I wanted to get to it.
Yeah, come out here, run my very best with my ability, put everything I have on the track, trusting God's plan for me. Come out here and execute against these absolute dogs in my heat. It feels amazing to be able to come out here and represent for Houston, represent Katy, represent my family, represent myself as well.
All right, good stuff from Blake Hamilton and that squad over there at Katy Tompkins. How about the hurdles, man? We talked about the 110-meter hurdles and the boys' 300-meter hurdles. Andrew Jones out of Klein Collins, man. Out of the 110, he had a 13.01, which set a record, but again, wind-aided. In the boys' 300, he had a clock of a 36. Amazing times for him. Of course, he's headed to Texas A&M. We caught up with Andrew Jones to get his quick thoughts about his overall meet.
Protecting both my titles, and it feels great for me to come back after all the stress of I have to protect it, and it feels great to kind of finally have that over and come back with 2 golds. I hope I can make it to the Olympics, and I hope I can hopefully place in the Olympics maybe.
Becoming sort of an internet wonder. Thoughts about that?
It feels great. It's so funny having people come up to me at meets. Like, oh, you're the hurdler guy, right? I'm like, oh yeah. So it's kind of just crazy to have the recognition from people I do not know. It feels so good.
All righty, Andrew's going to do fantastic. In fact, I think he'll be in the Olympics. And speaking of, 2 years from now over in L.A., watch for Dylan Mitchell. I think there's a good chance he'll be in the Olympics as well. He's out of C.E. King High School, of course. And in the 100-meter, 9.92. And let me just tell you, man, I mean, it didn't feel that windy. It just kind of upsets you when it's a wind-aided situation. And he talked about that following the meet, about how the whole wind-aided thing, it says, you know what, it is what it is. Everybody saw him fast. That's all that matters.
I looked at the time, it said 9.9. I was going to take 9.9.
The Olympics are in 2 years in LA. You'll be bigger and maybe faster. Is that the goal, to be in LA in a couple of years?
Yes, sir. I got to keep on working, keep getting better. That's all it really is. Let God do his thing.
Running on an Olympic-style track here in Austin, and then getting a chance to show the state what you can do, because you're only a sophomore, so the nation's starting to take notice already.
Yes, sir. I mean, I love putting the state on notice. Everyone gonna keep doubting me, talking about all my times at wind-aided. When I drop a wind legal time, it's gonna be special.
On the girls' side, hey, the 6A highlights, there was so many impressive girls as well in multiple relays. In fact, Carrie Kresser out of Jersey Village surprised everybody in the 400. 52.85, came out of the far lane. I barely even saw her coming up. We luckily got her thanks to my boy Chris Hardy taking care of me in the middle camera. And Mikhail Lee out of A-Leaf Taylor. I tell you what, Mikhail ran the 800 in a time of 2:08.69. She did fantastic. You might remember last week we talked about Naomi Booker out of Tomball. She won the 100 hurdles in 13.32. And Emariah Molden of Magnolia won the 300 hurdles in a time of 41.10. So really good stuff right there from the Houston area. And I think when it comes right down to it, those are the relays. We'll get into more of the field events and stuff like that as we get into this weekend show Saturday night at 11 o'clock. But I did want to kind of hit on 5A real quick, because the Fort Bend Marshall girls were fantastic.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, my goodness. Just as good as Lancaster was up there in Dallas, Fort Worth area, so was Fort Bend Marshall. Zoe Coachko, Phoenix Glover, Megan Thomas, Amari Mopkins. These girls got it started right away in the 4x100 meter relay. They came out, took care of business, and then they went out and won the 200 meter relay. I believe it was the exact same 4 too, if you can imagine that. And then they also got the 4x400 meter relay, and that was Corey Wilmington, Megan Thomas, Amira Mopkins, and Elias Stewart. So hats off to Fort Bend Marshall. They did fantastic. I also want to give a quick shout out to Iowa Colony's Ashlyn Lewis. She had a 52.81. And hats off to Trayvon Latimer of Angleton High School. Trayvon won the 110-meter hurdles on the boys' side for Angleton. Nice little gold finish for him.
Nice, man. There's always so many events out there, man. You got to cover them all. We got to see some sweet athletes out there. So congratulations to everybody that came home with a medal, whether it be gold, silver, or bronze. Nice, good effort from Houston yet again. That'll do it for this week in the warm-up, but we're going to leave you guys with the top 5 2027 linebackers that we have coming back next year. These guys, look out. Quarterbacks need to pay attention to this as well. Whoever we rank as the top 5, make sure you don't get dropped by one of them. You don't want to get hit by an LT lookalike out there. But we're going to rank the top 5 2027 linebackers, and we will see you again next week as we're going to preview the softball state championship games.